Let us now pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. And homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice today. Amuga Pasa Avalokiteswara. Sumo. Tanzan Katso. Tuten Siddhi. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? Sarangi.
Hola, amigo. Que quiero mucho. Sugoin. Ichiba. Kimoji. Jumi. Yapi. Pudding pudding. Konnichiwa.今天有人生日，那就
It's someone's birthday today, so
唱首生日歌。
let's sing a birthday song.
是那玛乌朗达文沙米乌扎嘎。 是喇嘛的班扎乌木吉达干多阿嘎，是喇嘛的萨德拉塞哈生多萨，是喇嘛的班扎乌木。 丹塔阿吉呀，祝福生日
I wish
吉祥、如意、健康、
all auspicious wishes fulfill health and longevity.
刚刚看了大家请佛注释。
I saw the
我觉得
prayer or the pledge by everybody to stay in samsara. My personal feeling
一般人
is
活在这世界上，
my thought is most people live in this world.
欲求、欲望
Their
跟祈求，
wish or desire
如果还有的话，
if they still have
要留在这世界。
desire or wishes, then they still want to stay in samsara. And what kind of desires are there? About money,
色
sex,
名
or
食
beauty, name, fame, food, and sleep.
人的欲望，
Those are the desires of human
这是金
beings.
钱，
Wealth or money,
色这是美女，
and sex or beautiful ladies or handsome men,
他的名气地位，
and fame,
食
name and position,
他
status,
对于
food,
有欲望，
still
对
have
于睡
desire for
睡
food
眠
or sleep.
有他的欲望，
They still have desire for
有
sleep.
欲望，他就
Whenever you still have
留在
desire,
这世间的
then
这个需求
you still want to live
的欲望。
in the world or to stay in samsara.
但是我们一个修行人，
So like
应该
demand.
对这
But as
5个
spiritual
欲望
cultivator, towards these 5 desires, we should take it very lightly. We take it very lightly.
我们谈一下这5个欲望。
Let's talk about this 5 desire. The first one is money.
这个已经够了，
If you have
弟
enough,
子的供养也够了。
offerings by disciples are
就
enough.
算那个
So
面
even
增
if
加一个0，
there's another 0 in the
自己
bank,
的心灵飘一下，
it just make you feel fluttered a little bit.
钱
Because I never use money.
我讲我在台湾呢、就是买水，
Like in Taiwan, I just buy water.
就是
In
加油，
Seattle, I just buy gas.
车子加油。
Fill in the gas for the car.
在西雅图，我这个卡
In
有一个
Seattle,
卡，
I have a card,
飞碟卡，
a credit card.
只有用在加油上，
It's only used for
从来不买东西，
filling the gas. I never buy anything.
没有需求。
I don't have
你看
any
食吧，吃的
needs, like food.
我都是在庙里面
I just eat at the temples.
吃，就是在庙里面，
So I eat at the temple.
而且呢是少油、少
And
盐、
low fat, low salt, low sugar,
没糖。
no sugar.
吃就是这个样子，
So that's all about food. That's all about it.
没有多大
About
的
food. With regard to food.
求，没有
No
没有
big
没有
deal.
什么太大
No
的
big requirements or
穿衣
needs.
服呢，
About clothes, always Lama outfit.
这个龙袍、喇嘛装，
The dragon robe and Lama outfit. And they were all offered by
住
disciples.
的也已经有
My abode, I have them.
住的，我
Place of residence, I've told Samu,
我们不会再搬家，
we will not move again.
最后一次搬家
The last move
自己搬
would
到
be to move
马
myself
双莲池
to the Maha Twin Lotus Ponds. That's it. We will not move our
在
homes
西
anymore
雅图不可能搬家，
in Seattle.
在台湾也不可能
And in Taiwan, it's also impossible for us to
他
move.
家都没有，
So we'll not move our
地
residence
球没
again.
有了。
So we have no needs or requirements for our
我的
abodes.
车子
For transportation, my car
是韩尼瓦师姐送2部车，
for now are
一
given
个是
offered by
Maserati
Dharma sister Hanifa.
一部
Two
是
cars, one is Maserati, the other one is Rolls Royce.
都是高级的车。
They are high
玛莎拉蒂也是
class.
很高级，
Maserati is also pretty high
劳斯
class.
莱斯
And Rolls Royce,
可以讲
we
没有
can
比
say
那个车更好的车了。
there is no better car than that.
劳斯莱
It's
斯顶级
high
的，
and
你说还有什么车呢？
top end
像
Rolls
法拉
Royce.
利、
What are the cars like Ferrari or
年轻人
Lamborghini?
开的车。
Those are for young people.
对我这个老头子来讲，
For me, an elderly,
这弯腰进去都很困难。
it would be difficult just to get in the car, to bend down and get in the car. It's so low.
还要选着路开，因为它的底盘太低。
And you have to choose where to drive because it's so low, so close to the
不可
ground.
能呢，食衣住行
So not possible. Not possible for all the daily necessities, which is food, clothing, house, and
世
transport.
间的欲望越少，
The less desire you have for the world,
你的寿命就会越短。
the shorter your lifespan
你
will
对
be.
世间还有欲求，
If you still have
你就
desires
想
and
生存
wants
下去，
about the world, then you
生
still
存
want
的
to
欲
live
望更
on,
强。
then you have a strong desire for survival.
师尊可以讲，
But for Grandmaster,
生存的欲望
I can say that my desire for survival,
也知道，
and I know about my lifespan.
再过差不多一眨眼，
We can say in the blink of an
八
eye,
旬老翁，
I would be an
一眨眼
elderly in the
就八
80s,
旬老翁。
which is the blink of an eye.
应该可以，
It
就
should
很
be
满足。
okay. I'm content.
唯一的留在世界上的，
The
留在这
only,
世间的理由啊，
the only reason to stay in this world
就是说
Is
法度众生。
is to give Dharma teaching and deliver sentient beings.
啊，唯一留在世界上的理由，
The only reason to stay in the world for me
在
is
这个人间的理由。
is this.
啊，大家也是喜欢这个，我喜欢看到
Everybody likes. I like to see my disciples come to see
这
me.
1年多来，
In this past 1 year, because of the coronavirus,
啊，弟子们想来也不能来。
it's impossible for them to come visit.
你说回台湾吗？也就
So
是台湾的弟子来，
how about me going back to
东南亚的
Taiwan?
弟子也不
But
能来。
then there'll only be
你
Taiwanese
是在美国
disciples.
吗？
Disciples from Southeast Asia cannot come.
来的，
But how about in
那
America?
个飞过来，
And the ones who come
就是1只2只。
by air, it's only like 1 or 2.
啊，你们大家都可以看得到的，都可以
You
数
can
的，
see, you can
都可以
count,
数的，10个手指头，
and not even up to
你都
10
可以数
fingers.
的，就是当这个 1 2 3 4 5，连 6都很难。
It's hard to even
10
reach
个手指头都
6.
一数就
10 fingers are enough to count
剩
them,
下的都是在地的，
and the rest are the locals, people who live here. I don't see my disciples because of coronavirus. And the same with Taiwan. There'll only be Taiwanese disciples. And those from Southeast Asia are still in
锁国，
lockdown,
别的国家的
still
人都不
closed
能
down.
进去啊。
So people from other countries cannot go in.
什么时候？你看加拿大好了，加拿大要
How
过来
about，Canada? Even for the Canadians to come?
就
No.
是一个安吉尔就哭着过来，
The only one was Angel who cried to
然
come
后又
in
哭着回去。
and then also cried to go home.
为什么哭着回去？一过来，这
She's
个会改
crying
变呢、
to come and crying to go
说
home.
你如
As soon as she
加拿大的
came,
公民如果不回去
the
的
rule
话，
changed and it said
你的
that
那
if
个
Canadian
防疫旅
citizens
馆住在防疫旅
don't
馆
go
那几天
back home within a certain date, then you have to pay for your own
对呀、多少钱？
hotel fees during quarantine. How much?
3天就要2000块加币，
2,000 Canadian
身上没有那
dollars
么多的钱，
for 3 days, and she did not have that much money with her, so she
你
cried
看就是
and
就是这种
having to go
状
home.
况。那
So
活
this is
着
what happened.
那有什么意思？
So what use is there to live?
希望呢，这个疫
There's no
情
meaning in living
赶快
on.
消失。
So I hope that this pandemic will
各国
disappear
的边
soon
界全部通通都
and all the borders will be open
所有的国跟国之间的边境
between countries. The borders will
以
be
前
open.
长龙的飞机啊，
In the
台湾
past, EVA Air from Taiwan to Seattle, they have 2 flights
一
a
个礼拜一
day,
班
and now they only have 1 flight per week.
1天2班的班机，
So from 2
现在
flights
一个
per
礼拜才
day,
1班。
now it's 1 flight per week.
所以想一想，越活
So think about it.
越没有意思。
The more I live, the less meaning it is, the less meaningful it
我就
is.
是活着，就是说
So
法度众生啊。
all I live for is to give Dharma teaching and deliver sentient beings.
还有网络直播，
And we also have webcasts,
还有这个论，
and we have Zoom.
看到论里面的弟子，
And I see the disciples inside the Zoom.
品祥师兄跟我讲，
And today,
论里面
Dharma brother Dexter told
有
me
有700人，725
there are 725 people on Zoom today.
当然了，还有很多
And
看
there are
不
many
直播的人
more who watch the webcasts. Many of
所以
them.
看到那个论里
So
面
I saw the disciples on Zoom
给他们，
and Grandmaster wanted to give them blow kisses.
每一个人都闻一下，
And to kiss every one of them.
男的也闻一下，
The man too,
大人、小孩、老人，
both young and old, man and woman, all to be kissed.
这个很想念嘛，很想念大家，真的。
That's we miss each other and long for each other so much.
人生也就是这个样子。
That's how human life is.
这个真的， 所以佛法里面有提到一句话，有一个很有名的，
That's why in Buddha Dharma,
大家
there's the saying,
大家班智达，
someone
大
famous,
家班智达，
I think it was Sakya Pandita who
意思是说
mentioned,
人能够活在这世间上很长久的话，
for a human being to be able to live in the world for a long time,
就越短。
if the desires are less, then the lifespan is less. If they still have needs and desires, then the lifespan will be
那
longer.
师尊呢，因为想要广度众生，
And Grandmaster, because he would like to widely deliver sentient
而且
beings
不舍一个众生，我发
and never to forsake any single sentient being, I have made this vow.
回去是回去了，但是来还是会来。
Although I go back, I would still come back.
那其实我告诉你，真正
Actually, let me tell you,
我告诉大家哦，
let me tell
今
you,
天的道果会讲到
the Lamdi today will talk about it.
轮回跟涅槃
Rebirth and Nirvana
其实是一组，
are actually the same.
那是很高的境界。
That's a very
什
high
么叫如
realm.
来呢？
What is Tathagata? What does it
好像有来。
mean? It seems to be coming.
如来就是好像有来。什么叫如去？
That's Tathagata. And what
好
is?
像有去。
And it seems to be going.
常住世间，
To continually stay in samsara
是不是最高级？
it's not the
最高
highest.
级的
The highest
根本
one
无来无去。
is without coming and without going.
最顶级的成就就是无来无去的。
The highest kind of attainment is no coming and no going.
第二种成就
And the second kind of attainment,
是有来有去。
the second highest, is coming and going.
最没有成就的
And the one with the least attainment,
应该是什么？
what should it be?
我告诉你，最没有成就的也是无来无去啊。
The one with the least attainment is never coming and never going, because they are forever in the three lower realms. Even if they ask, they never be able to abandon it.
这是跟大家讲。那么今天
So
呢，
that's what I like to tell everyone.
师尊就讲到这里。
So today,
那么
that's what I would like to say.
随顺，大家要留
I would just go with the flow.
留下来的歌。
If you want me to stay, just now they sang this song about staying.
当然了，
Of course.
我就留下来。
Then I would stay.
阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛。
Amitabha. Let's all pay homage to our lineage Guru.
那么现在通知大家哈，下个礼拜天
So now I would like to announce for next Sunday, March 14th at 3 p.m. There will be Mahotara Heruka Homa fire offering ceremony.
Om Beza Zoda Mahase Shiri Haruka Hom Hom Pei. Om Beza Zoda Mahase Shiri Haruka Hom Hom Pei.
Om Beza Zoda Mahase Shiri Haruka Hom Hom Pei. Mahotara Heruka. Haruka's mantra can cure illnesses. Anyone heard this mantra will generate tremendous merits. Many people can recover from their illnesses. That's the very miraculous deity. A deity that generates lots of miracles. Someone had their frozen fingers. The fingers were attached to each other. And everybody knew the fingers cannot be spread apart. And after attending the Mahotara Heruka ceremony, immediately on the spot, he or she could spread the fingers. And people with tumors or cancers on their bodies, very clearly, a tumor that's very conspicuous or obvious, and you touch that part. When the mantra chanting ends, the tumor disappeared. So Mahotara Heruka, there was a person who just passed by and heard the mantra of Mahotara Heruka, and he felt warmth all over his body. He was on the way to the hospital to check on his tumor on his neck in the morning. The tumor was still there. And after hearing Mahotara Heruka's mantra, he was just passing by and he got to the hospital and had the tumor checked. And the doctor said, "Where's your tumor?" And then he looked at himself in the mirror. The tumor disappeared. Many miracles. I hope that the ceremony next week we will have miracles. And those on Zoom or those watching the webcast, and people present personally, I hope that they all have miracles, that they have miracles. That's for the Mahotara Heruka Homa fire offering ceremony, March 14th, Sunday at 3 p.m. And we all know Amugabhasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is the equal deliverance Vajra. He delivers equally. He delivers equally. Equal deliverance. It's too marvelous. Equal deliverance Vajra. Amugapasa, Avalokitesvara, has tremendous Dharma power. With the Amuga, which means non-empty, so if you pray for any bardu deliverance, it would be equally delivered. As long as you pray anyone with affinities. Buddhism talks about affinity. If you have the affinity, then you would be guided to be reborn in the Pure Land. So this deity is very remarkable. They are always the most primary supplicants for this deity. And before the Dharma teaching, wow, it's 4:56 already. I haven't even started the Dharma teaching. I have to hurry. People with a white face normally have better temper because it's hard for them to turn their face because the face is too big. The second joke, I advise you don't fight, because if you win, you would be seen in the court. If you lose, then you would be sent to the hospital. There is no use in fighting, so don't fight. You can say this to your lover. In this life, there are only 2 times that I want to be together with you. That's very little. In my lifetime, there are only 2 times I want to be with you, and they are now and in the future. Questions by Malaysia. The Dharma teacher or reference 四莲水, 水 meaning who? Of course, I know who he is. Because in Zen Buddhism, they love to ask this: who are you? Who are you? You have to be clear who you are. It's an extremely important thing in Zen Buddhism. It is not easy to understand yourself. So who are you? That's not simple. Do you understand yourself? Find yourself the best you can. Understand yourself in order to have attainments. Asked by the Venerable 四莲水 from Malaysia. Homage to Grandmaster. How do you do? My question is, a true Buddha school disciple studying Madhyamaka and Yogacara, should one embrace both, or is it okay to just practice the Madhyamaka Prasangika and to study the Yogacara just to get to know the dispositional nature of the Tathagata Garbha and its functions? Because Madhyamaka is the school of emptiness or nature, and Yogacara is the school of form or existence. So, or should we do both? This explanation will not be one day will not be enough for explaining this. Even a book is not enough. In India, in the Buddhist world, there are only two ways to study Buddhism. One is Madhyamaka, the other one is Yogacara. If you know about Yogacara, then you would know Asanga and Vasubandhu. Asanga, Bodhisattva, and Vasubandhu, Bodhisattva, belonging to the Maitreya. Yogacara originated from Maitreya and then to Asanga and Vasubandhu. If you research Madhyamaka, then you would know about Nagarjuna and Aryadeva. And they have many treatises. Asanga has 5 treatises. Nagarjuna too has 5 treatises. Like at the school of the 3 treatises, that's the Madhyamaka. The Madhyamaka, Vatara, the 12, the treatises of the 12 gates, and at the Asanga there are the Yogacara and the Lingja Sutra. And inside it there are lots of sutras and treatises. And just the Madhyamaka is divided into many schools. And the most important one is the Madhyamaka Swantara and Madhyamaka Prasangika and Swatantrika. So Buddhist research are 2 kinds. Based on the Yogacara, the eyes, nose, ears, tongue, body, and mind. And then the roots of the mind, the alaya, or we call it the 8th consciousness. So this 8 consciousness in Yogacara is also called the broadly action school. And Madhyamaka is also called the deep or the profound seeing school. In Buddhism, there are so many different schools, but Guru Tsongkhapa used the Madhyamaka Prasangika. There are several treatises if you want to read them. By Chandrakirti, Madhyamaka Vatara. That's by Chandrakirti. If you have read Madhyamaka Vatara, you would understand Madhyamaka, the middle way. So, I recommend the Venerable Lien Sui to read this Madhyamaka Vatara. If you want to know and study Yogacara, the 5 treatises by Asanga or the 5 treatises by Nagarjuna, you can read them. And after you read them, you can come and ask me, what is Madhyamaka, what is Yogacara, then you would know.
如何空有双印？
How do you
以前呢，
perform the dual execution of
曾经
emptiness and
跟达赖
existence?
喇嘛在一起的时候，
When I
这
was
个问题，
meeting with Dalai Lama, we talk about this topic.
什么色就是空，
What is
空
form
就是色
is emptiness and emptiness is form.
达赖喇嘛问我，
The Dalai Lama
了
asked
解
me,
心经的色就是空，
do you
空就是色
understand the
吗？
form's emptiness, emptiness is form in the Heart Sutra? And my reply was dual execution.
色空双印，色
The
空
dual
双印，
execution of
也就是空
emptiness
有
and
双印。
existence, or of emptiness and form, is the same
达
as
赖喇嘛
emptiness and
他讲的
existence.
是自然，
And the Dalai Lama talked about being natural.
你讲双印，我讲自然，
So you said dual execution, and I said
就等于
being
随顺
natural.
它吧。
What is being
说
natural?
有就
Just
有，说空
go
就
with the flow. If you say it exists, it exists. If you say it's empty, it's empty.
那我是讲空有双印，
But I said
接近自
dual
然。
execution of
自然只是
emptiness
空有
and
双印当中
existence.
的一部分。
It's close to naturalness.
我是
The
这样认为
naturalness is only one part
那
of
么我
the
要
dual
解释啊，我要
execution.
解释说，我讲的
That's
双
my
印是什么？
opinion. I had to explain what I meant
那
by
当时
saying
我
dual
要解释
execution.
我的双印是什么？
At that time, I said that, but
叫
Dalai
我说
Lama
不要
said,
解释，你
no
不用
need to
解释
explain. No need,
叫我不用解释，因为时间差不多了。
because time is up.
再解释下去啊，他下面还要会客，
Because he had another visitor
我不能
afterwards,
看到别人的时
so
间
I
啊。
could not take
所
somebody
以我
else's
讲双印
time.
他讲自然，
So I said dual
自然
execution,
只
and
是
he
双印
said
当中的一部分。
naturalness. But naturalness is only one part of the dual
啊，
execution.
你问的应该如何空有双印？
And you ask,
请
how
师
do
悲
we perform
师尊慈悲
the
开
dual
始
execution of emptiness and
你
existence?
先去了解
Please
什么叫做双
advise.
印。
But first you need to understand. Please go
先去了
and
解
understand what dual execution is about.
有一个人呐、我有一次在书
There
上
was one
在那
person
边有一个人
during the book exhibition, someone asked,
你讲空，
Grandmaster, you talk about emptiness.
空到了极点是什么？
What is the ultimate of emptiness? And my reply is existence.
空到了极点是有。
So the extreme of emptiness
那
is
有的极点
existence.
是什么？
And he asked again, so what is the extreme of existence? And I replied,
告
emptiness.
诉你哦，
So let me tell you, 四莲
你
水,
先找出你是谁，
you should seek who you are first.
你找出你是到底是谁，
Who you
然后
are
你跟
really.
你这个失联水两个双印，
Then you perform dual execution with 四莲水. This is the dual execution of emptiness
那
and
你知
existence.
道吗？你
Now
在
do you
不
know?
在
Do you know? Do you understand?
这个法号连水，连水法
The Dharma name is 莲水 and the 水 is who?
Who? You are who? You are who? 你找出来了，你真的找出来了。
Who are you?
现在的
If you
失
truly
联两个双印
find
这个就是
that
双印
and then
我已经回答你
together with the current 四莲水 in dual execution, that's the answer.
好，这是第一个问题。
That's the first
第二个
question.
问题，
The second
台湾
question from
莲
Taiwan,
花于君，
莲花义君.
顶礼师佛，
Homage
世尊佛
to
弟子
Grandmaster.
来自
Peace be with
台
you.
湾的莲花于君，
I am 莲花义君 from Taiwan.
师尊曾
I
开
have
示
the
要
question.
做个
Once
心
You
杀
give a Dharma
行
teaching,
者，
that we have to be a sadhaka who kills our surroundings. The mind kills the surrounding. And I gradually study Buddhism, but in confirming it, I am always being killed by my surrounding. So I'm always being carried away by my circumstances, and then I feel regretful. So how should I do? And I also know that the sadhaka should speak kindly and gently. But at work, I am a healthcare provider, and because of the busyness and the pressure, that it's very difficult to become a kind and gentle attitude toward the sentient beings. So this way, my bodhicitta retreated. So she's often encountering that the circumstances kills her mind instead of her mind killing the circumstances or surroundings. That's unavoidable. Yan Hua Yi Jing from Taiwan. She's a healthcare provider. She has to face or handle so many patients, and she cannot speak gently or smile. In that kind of situations, what should we do? As a spiritual cultivator or sadhaka, we have to have our mind to kill the circumstances. But for Lian Hua Yi Jin, it's the circumstances that kills her mind. Frankly speaking, frequently, this is what I do. If I encounter things not going my way, I would say, forget it. It's okay. No big deal. Nothing. It doesn't matter. It's okay. No big deal. No problem. It doesn't matter. It's okay. When anything passes, it's gone. Really. There are many things that don't go according to my wishes. So many. Grandmasters has so many of them because all the problems of sentient beings are on my shoulders. But why am I still calm and carefree and has self-mastery? In order to gain this self-mastery, you have to have your mind to kill the circumstances first. Otherwise, you will be afflicted. And the only one that gets disturbed is yourself. So when you're being killed by the circumstances means you harm yourself. Why do you want to think that there's nothing, no problem, it doesn't matter, no big deal? It's okay. Even doesn't matter how big a problem is, it's not a problem. Why? Because you know, you have seen the path. Let me tell you. There is no, really, there is no world. The world doesn't really exist, you know. The one who has seen the path would know everything is in the dreams. Today, you had the dream, and your limbs were cut off, and you were being chased and killed. But you woke up, oh, it's a dream. It didn't count, and your legs and arms are still there. Just a dream, it doesn't count. But human world, simply said, it's just a dream. The human life is just a dream. So where is their problem? Even when the heavens fall down, the taller ones would hold it up. So for us, the shorter ones are okay. So those who are like 190 centimeter tall, they would die first. Or even if the earth crack open, the fat ones would block it. As the skinny ones would drop first. So we're not so skinny, right? So it's okay, no big deal. So even if the world is falling down, it's okay. Even if the volcano erupts right in front of you, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Even with a huge earthquake, we would think, just right. Oh, Mani, bear me home. It's just the right time to be reborn into the Pure Land. Some people are so scared flying on the plane because when they have turbulence, it's play of words in Chinese. Turbulence. It sounds like a drunken chicken dish. So you don't want to eat the drunken chicken dish because when you have so many planes falling off, then you would be scared flying. But what is there to be scared of when you get on the plane? You're in union with your yidam. You close your eyes and you sleep with peace. So even if the plane falls down, in a split of a second, you would be to the Buddha land. So what is there to be scared of? Nothing. So on fire, say if my house is on fire, oh fire, let's run. If I cannot run, so your mind kills your circumstances. Then you can save the money from the cremation. I save the money for the cremation. I don't need to have my children to worry. I would be peacefully cremated and be reborn into the Buddha land, Pure Land. Anything is the Buddha land and Pure Land. What is there to be scared of? The other day, my tooth fell and I felt, this is a big issue. If I cannot fix it, so there's because of cavity inside and cannot be glued back together, what should I do? And then I turned around and thought, it's fine. It's about time to go anyway. Even if all the teeth on the upper row or lower row all fall off, I would learn from the Master In Xun and I would just drink liquid food. That's fine too. This is the case with the mind killing the circumstances. Then I would just eat liquid diet. But luckily, that's not the case. And you can still do a bridge. And Dr. Gui Chin Hong, Dr. Hong, told me there's no cavity, nothing. So that was very lucky. So she just glued it back. When I was 35, I fixed all my teeth.
到现在已经用了差不多40年。
So I have used them for over 40 years. That's worthwhile, even if all falls off.
全部都掉了，我就喝流
Even the upper one, the lower one, the all fall off, that's fine. I'll just drink liquid food. What is there to be scared of? But I don't know if I can give Dharma teaching then.
我变成无耻之徒啊！
I would become a disciple with no teeth, but it's also a play of words of Chinese.
所以我奉劝莲花义君，
So I recommend 莲花义君
看开你的环境，
that you should
不过是梦，
see through your circumstances, but they are all just dreams.
人生不过是梦境一场。
That human life too is just a dream.
虽然你不一定好过，
Although you may not live your life really well, but think about it.
日日也会过。
So you live your days in misery, you still live.
也会下去。
Even if you're miserable, the sun still rises
明天再来，
and the day still passes, and tomorrow will always come.
那个年年难过，年年也过了。
And if you're in misery every year, the year too passed. Grandmaster has so
以
many
前的那些岁月
miseries,
不好过啊。
and are all those years pass well? Not all of them, but they all have passed.
都是无常，
They all will pass.
何必
Everything is impermanent. There's nothing to be haggled
或
about
者同事之
or to
间
be so cared about,
都会过的。
or unpleasantry or antipathy between co-workers. Just let it be, let it pass. Because nobody lives so long anyway, especially the patients. So why do you care so much?
一阵子，
Or even the co-workers, you're just together for a period of time. We don't live very
说
long.
谁最亲？
So who are closest to us? Even our closest loved ones would also go separate ways.
不会
That's how it is. So just let it be. Forget it.
但是你要学习
So,
这种。
Of course, it is difficult to do,
可以很好过。
but you can learn the spirit of Grandmaster, that you would live well. Just treat every day as a dream, every month as a dream, every year as a
过
dream.
了就算了，
After it passes, it's past.
净化自
Then
己。
just forget it. And the thing is, you have to uphold your own mind to purify yourself.
我活不久，
Nobody lives very long. I don't live very
北
long.
当市的
And also,
都是老人，
like at the Seattle Lechang Temple,
反正都一
just
样。
looking out, they're all old. We're all the same. So why do we concern so much?
痛痛快快的嘛，
Why do we so be bothered
松
by
快嘛
it?
一天，啊，袂爽嘛一天，啊，你是爱爽快啊，不爱爽
So you're happy, you also live a day.
快啊。
And you are miserable, you still live the day. So do you choose to be happy or to be miserable? Of course, to be
自己
happy.
麻烦嘛，
So if you choose to be miserable, then you're just creating problems for yourself.
睡天地都宽，
Then just sleep, lay down and sleep. And when you fall asleep, the heaven and earth are so boundless.
又是你，
Yehua Menghua again from Taiwan? You again?
文化，你来干什么？
Why you
顶礼
here?
进来。
Homage Grandmaster. Recently, I had insomnia,
天不能睡觉，
and I wrote letter. And before receiving the reply, because I couldn't bear it
干
anymore,
嘛？又找3次，
I was attached by the spirit, so I went again to the Dragon and Phoenix Palace to Qigong and went 3 times to the Ciyuan Temple, the 9 dragons, prince, to be scared. And then the disciple introduced me to find a master, and then discover that the master gave me a blessing on the head. And after I knew that I should receive blessings from fellow disciple, it would mess the lineage. I should not go everywhere. So that's why now I'm coming back to ask for repentance and purification. And please advise what should I do so that I can purify my own Dharma lineage flow and not to leak anything. You have repented, right? You already earnestly pray for repentance and pray for purification. That's already done. No more problem. I know you. Meng Hua. In the past, in Taiwan, every time people invite me for dinner, you always come for blessings on the head. How can you have amnesia? What things can bother you? How can you be invaded by spirits? Every time I want that, I cannot get it. But how come you always get the spirits entering your body? So you repented. And for purification, you need to chant 100,000 times of Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra. Then naturally you would be repurified. I cannot be invaded by the spirits, so I cannot understand why you would lose sleep. I don't have enough time for sleep. So when I get on the Dharma throne, I would yawn and feel drowsy and teary and want to sleep. But how come you cannot fall asleep and lose sleep? As soon as you lie down, it's wide open, no problems whatsoever. What is there bothering you? One time, Simu, Foqing, and Foqi and Andy had the meeting, and they asked me to join. So I just finished writing my book, and I only had 10 minutes. So I said, no, I cannot join. I want to sleep for 10 minutes. It's time for lunch. We have to go to Seattle Temple at noon. And in 10 minutes, you can fall asleep. And I said, yeah, sure. Even in 10 minutes, I walked to my bed and rinsed my mouth and took a pee, and I only had 5 minutes left. And then I got on bed and I chanted, being reborn in the Pure Land, leaving behind suffering. Namo Amitabha, let Golden Mother be in charge, let Golden Mother be in charge. And then I fell asleep already before I finished it. And then Foqi woke me up
10分钟，我起来叫我起床。
because 10 minutes passed.
我眼睛一张，
As soon as I opened my eyes, what?
我真的在那5分钟之
So
内，
within 5 minutes,
我已经觉得已经睡了差不多1个小时。
I felt like I have slept 1 to 2 hours.
人家是福中日夜长，就9福的福。
People say
福
that
中日夜长，
inside the bottle of wine, the days are long,
睡
the days and nights are
福中
long.
日夜长，
And for Grandmaster
只有
is
睡2分钟，
amidst the sleep,
我已经觉得
the time is long.
非
So
常的充足。
So I only slept 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I felt very
我上次的车
satisfied.
他载我来
You can ask Master De
回
Hui.
上是载
I
我
got
回去
on her car,
再来
and he drove me to Rainbow Temple and drove me back home.
回去，
So coming
我
here,
也是在
I was in the dream. Going home, I was also in the
哪
dream.
个时候不睡觉啊？
Is there a time that I don't
告诉
sleep?
你，我的睡觉就是打坐。
You know, my sleep actually is my meditation.
3
So I would be sitting there and 1, 2, 3,
这中间全部都是空白的，
and in between everything is blank and
眼睛一
empty.
张，
As soon as I open my
只要一
eyes,
到了，我就眼睛就张，
as soon as I arrive,
就打开。
I automatically open
这
my
样眼睛就打
eyes.
开。哇，这是禅定呢，
That's meditation.
真的，这中间什么都是空白。
And then in between, there's completely empty, blank. No dreams, nothing.
我学的是晨曦意，
So I learned from
睡
Chen
前
Xi
曦意的功夫，
the sleeping
所以
sage
这套功夫
Chen Xi.
也不知道怎么练成的。
So I don't know how I train in this Kung Fu.
我坐那个德威上师的车，
When I got on Master
如果有
De
一
Hui's
次
car,
没有睡觉，我就
If
不是人。
there was a time when I didn't fall asleep, I wouldn't be a human being. I am not a human being if I didn't sleep. So if I'm not a human being, what am I? A Buddha.
好，今天就讲到这里。
So that's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.
让我们以最热烈的掌声感谢法王师尊莲生活佛宝贵的法语开始。
Uh-oh.
还没有讲到我。
We haven't talked about Lamni.
忘了。
I forgot.
弟子们无尽感恩师尊的慈悲，永不舍弃我们弟子。
We are truly grateful to His
谢谢师尊。
Holiness compassion not to abandon us, your
现
disciples.
在我
Thank
们
you,
恭请师
Grandmaster.
尊移驾。